for all the alumni of Elan. We shared something that nobody else can understand or appreciate unless they've gone through it. We're survivors, man. You know, we went we went down far, man, but we're all coming back up. I got some more tales to tell, man, about Elon. You know, after I got my ass kicked in the ring for that first day for not singing Mary Had a Fucking Little Lamb or Michael Row Your Boat, I woke up in the floor of the dining room. There wasn't any beds for me. Ricci was taking in so many kids, there just wasn't room for them. They put me on the floor on a mattress, and they had them piled up in there. When I woke up in the morning, I was looking for some clothes. They had big old piles of clothes behind the stage, mildewy, stinking, clothes here, clothes there. I just rummaged through there and found what I could wear, and that was about how I got my clothes at Elon. They never once took me to a store or bought me any new clothes at all. I don't know where they got these clothes from, but there's like a big old pile of stuff they got from Goodwill. I don't know where they got the clothes from. Maybe some kids had people that sent clothes there or what, I don't know. But that next day they say, "Oh well, you got to go sit in on this haircut and don't laugh." And I was like, "Well, I had long blonde hair back then." I was like, "Ain't nobody gonna cut my damn hair." I was, no sirree. I wasn't gonna have my hair cut. So, but you know how it goes. You know, knock on the door, and I'm sitting there, and knock, knock, knock. Who's out there? Someone said whoever the hell was out there. And they come in, and then they just, yeah, the reason why you're fucking standing there, yes, you ain't getting with the program, yeah, yeah, da, 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 and all this fucking nonsense. And I'm sitting there like, these people are crazy, man. I was 15 years old, but I had read a lot of books, and I was a pretty smart kid. Maybe I was pretty too smart for my own good, if you know what I mean. Um, and I just knew, like, right off the bat that my best option was to get the hell out of there. I didn't want anything to do with any of it. Encounter groups, primal scream, sensitivity groups. No, I didn't want nothing to do with that. Now Jeffrey, he tried to get me to open up in these groups. I wouldn't say no. I never participated in any groups whatsoever. Not a primal scream, not an encounter group, not a sensitivity group, nothing. I had nothing to say. I didn't want to be bothered. But one time they had an encounter group, and Joseph Ritchie pulls out a file, and he says, "Yeah, well, you got one resident here that never participates in any program. I mean, any groups." And he got around to pointing at me, and he said, "Well, this group's going to be about Stephen Smith. You know what I mean? We're going to get into his issues." So he had a file there on me. He pulls it out and he starts reading from my file to everybody. It's like, how do you feel, that your mother went to prison when you were 5, and wasn't you out and stealing with her, didn't you? And your mom get her. Man, I was mad as hell, because I didn't want any of them kids knowing my business. And I had a lot more than that I didn't want to tell. If you see my other videos, the Elon horror story 2. Um, yeah, it was crazy. It was really crazy. But I remember Ray Messier, man. That dude had balls, man. He's this wiry, dude. He moved like water. I mean, really, liquid water. This guy moved like. And they had him in the ring one time. I swear, it had to have been 10 rounds. Now he didn't fight back. He just stood there and kind of like, like this, and they put in one resident after another, punching him, bam, bam. bam, in his face. Blood everywhere. And then, at the end of the round, they'd say, so Ray, you want to get with the program now? And he'd be like, fuck you. Spit right there, fucking Jeffrey's feet. And Jeffrey'd be like, all right, put him in for another round, another round. I don't know how he took it. And then there was this other black kid, man. He was strong as an ox, man. And he was another one. He'd do the same thing almost, Well, those were the two that joined me in the cancer room. And I'm telling you, I'm sitting like this here up against the wall because I'm going to tell you, I'm afraid of these two. I already know that you can't beat them because these kids have gone through so much pain and torment and abuse that they just don't feel nothing anymore. So what? I mean, man, it could even go beyond that. It could go to the point where the only type of attention that they can recognize and feel is abuse. And these two would take turns, literally take turns, beating the shit out of each other. I mean, stomping their heads in and everything right there at my feet. So I wasn't going to say anything to them. I was scared to death. I was like, man, if one of these turn on me, what am I going to do? You, you could punch them 100 times, they ain't going to feel nothing. Your ass is dead. Then you got this kid, Earl Velasquez. Now, I ended up meeting him in the Bridgeport County Jail several years later. And this guy here, man, he got so messed up from Elan. He was just totally zonkers, man. He wasn't that bad when I knew him at Elan. But he was in jail, and the reason why he was in there, because someone asked him for some change, and he had a 357. He says, how about 357? And he shot him. Well, when he was in there was this other girl. I don't remember her name. She was kind of very ugly girl. I mean, I hate to say it. She's still a human being, but man, she was a pretty ugly girl. But she's the only one they put us in there with. And Earl was going to town on her, in the corner and eating all her food. And this cancer room, now it was on the second floor of Elan 1. And right outside the windows, I believe there's one or two windows. I'm not sure if it was two windows or one. But what they did is they put these wooden slats across and nailed them in. And they had, their expediter, coordinator, whoever it was, walking up on the roof. So we couldn't go anywhere. We were under guard. And then the door, it was, the window, if it was a window there, it wasn't, it was all boarded up. And they just, boom, shut the door. And the deal was, whatever went on in that room went on. And it went on like I told you. I turned 16 in that room, man. Now, I'll never forget that in my entire life. And the kid that was the night coordinator, big old Maine strapping dude. I mean, this dude was a pretty big sized boy. A lot bigger than me. I was a little kid, man. It was like, oh yeah, it's my birthday. He's like, oh, stand up, let me congratulate you. Yeah, bam, right in the face, man. This guy punched me. And when I went down, I seen a teacup on this little table. And I don't know what possessed me. I just grabbed it, took a crazy swing, and the bottom of that cup caught him right here. I mean, it was a perfect shot. And he started pounding. Boom, 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 boom. I don't even want to go into everything that happened in that room. I'm leaving shit out of it. But, they came and interviewed me, Marla Curley. I found out her name recently for the book Duck in a Raincoat. And I'm in the book. I didn't even know I was in the book. I've never seen the book. She never sent me the book. But I'm in the book, apparently. Guess I'll have to fork over some money and buy a copy. You would think if they use you to put in a book, you would get a copy of it, right? But no. But yeah, man, Elan, man, it was crazy. It was a crazy place, man. Spankings, haircuts, the ring. There wasn't. I knew that wasn't going to help anything, and I knew it was only going to make me worse. And what about the kids that they didn't have a strong disposition? What about the kids that weren't that intelligent? How did they survive? How did they get by? They were tormented and they didn't know what to do or how to cope. We got to stick together, man. We got to get everybody together, and we got to sue, man. We got to sue the state of Maine. We got to rectify. We got to make this right. But all my brothers, sisters, man, and Elan one, I love you. We're gonna make it, man. We're gonna stay strong, and life goes on, man. Life goes on.